everyone, Miss Molville here. I am at Tiger Stadium today because I'm missing baseball a little bit right now. But today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about how to divide decimals by decimals, okay? So believe it or not, you guys kind of already know how to do this because you're going to take the two things that you learned last week and you're going to combine them. So let's review what those two things are. So one of them is if a decimal is on the side, slide, slide. So remember, you slide that decimal as many times as you need to make it a whole number, and you do the same thing to the number that's on the inside. And then you might have to raise your decimal to the roof. So if it's still in the house, you're going to raise it to the roof. Okay? So let's take a look at 4 examples today. We're going to start with 2, and then I've got 2 more coming at you. Okay? So here we go. We see the decimal is on the side with 23 1/10 divided by 7/10. So again, there's 2 decimals here. So we're going to first slide the decimal over so that it's a 7. Okay? So that means we got to do the same thing over here. We got to slide that decimal that now it's right over here next to the 1. Okay? So it's kind of out of the house, so we can leave it out of the house. But if you want to raise it to the roof after you've done that, you can. But you'll see momentarily that you don't need to. So now we just divide. So ask yourself, how many times does 7 go into 2? Well, it can't. How many times can 7 go into 23? It can go in 3 times because 7 times 3 is 21. So we're going to put 21. Remember, we subtract and then we're left with 2. Check, is 2 less than 7? Yes, it is. So that means we can bring down the 1. Okay, and remember, we use does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Here we go. Okay, so don't forget, divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, or if you're using box method, bring over. Okay, so we brought down the 1, we started all over again. How many times can 7 go into 21? Well, we just figured that out. It went in 3 times exactly. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract, we're left with 0. Is 0 less than 7? Yep, anything to bring down? Nope, so that means our answer is 33. Okay. Not too different from what you've been doing, is it? Aha. All right, so let's look at our next one. So we have 48 4/10 divided by 2 hundredths. Okay, so again, if the decimal's on the side, we're going to slide. So we're going to slide it so that's a whole number. So we're going to slide 1, 2 times. So this time we have to do it 2 times to make that a whole number 2. So that means we got to slide this decimal 2 times. So 1, 2. So what does that mean we have to add here in this empty space? A 0, okay, so don't forget about that. Add that 0 and then you can extend your roof line if you need to. Or if you're using box method, you add another box, okay? So now we just divide. How many times can 2 go into 4? It can go in exactly 2 times. So 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract and we're left with 0. 0 less than 2, yep, so bring down to 8. How many times can 2 go into 8? It can go in 4 times. And do 4 times 2, which is 8. Subtract again, we're left with 0. 0 is less than 2, so we can bring down the 4. How many times can 2 go into 4? Well, it can go in 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4 exactly. Subtract, we're left with 0. 0 is less than 2, so bring down the 0. How many times can 2 go into 0? Yeah, don't forget to ask that question. It can go in 0 times. So remember, you have to have a number above every digit here. Okay, so 2 goes into 0 times. Subtract, you're still left with 0. You don't have to do that part if you don't need to. Okay, but there's your answer, 2,420. All right, we're going to try 2 more. You'll see how you have to raise it to the roof sometimes on these next ones. All right, here we go. So here are our last 2 examples. So we have 5 68 hundredths divided by 8 tenths. Okay, so just like before, if the decimal's on the side, we're going to slide. So we're going to slide it over once. And the same here, we're going to slide it over once. Now, if you notice in this one, where's the decimal? It's in the house still. Okay, all the other ones we've done so far, the decimal got out of the house. So if it's the decimal's in the house, what are we going to do? Raise it to the roof. So all we got to do is after we slide it over once, we're going to boop, plop it on top of the roof. That's it. So slide it over if you need to, and then raise it to the roof if it's still in the house. Okay, from there, all we got to do is divide. So we got to ask ourselves, how many times can 8 go into 5? Well, it can't. So then we ask ourselves, how many times can 8 go into 56? Well, it can go in 7 times because 8 times 7 is 56. We subtract and we're left with 0. 0 is less than 8, so that means we can bring down the 8. Okay, how many times can 8 go into 8? Well, it can go in 1 time. So 8 times 1 is 8. subtract, and we're left with 0. Is 0 less than 8? Yep, nothing else to bring down, so there's our answer right there, 7 and 1/10. Okay, so sometimes, yeah, your answer will have a decimal because you had to raise it to the roof. All right, our last one is our toughest one here. I think we can do this though. Okay, so again, if decimal's on the side, slide, slide. So we're going to slide it over one time. So now it's 87, which means we got to do the same thing with this decimal. We're going to slide it over one time. And do you see how it's still in the house? So what are we going to do? Raise it to the roof. So we're going to plop it up on top, right exactly where it is. Make sure those are lined up. Okay, what makes this tougher is we've got a 2-digit number here, so it's 87. So you got to ask yourself, how many times can 87 go into 0? Well, it can't. How many times can 87 go into 3? Well, it can't. How many times can 87 go into 35? Well, it can't. Oh boy. How many times can 87 go into 356? Well, we know it's going to happen. We just got to figure out how many times. So remember, we use rounding to kind of help us. So 87 is really close to what? Or what would it round to? Well, it rounds to 90. So we can use that to help us because when things end in 0, it's really easy to multiply and divide. So we have to think 90 times what gets us close to 356. And remember, it's okay to go over, under. You just kind of want to find something close. So think 9 times what is close to 35. Well, 9 times 4 is 36, which is really close. So let's multiply 87 by 4 and see what we get. Okay, so off to the side here, I'm going to do 87 times 4. Well, 7 times 4 is 28. So put the 8 down, 2 up. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 2 more is 34, so 348. Yeah, that's really close to 356 without going over. So how many times did it go in? 4 times. So I'm going to put that 4 up there, and then we're going to subtract 348. All right, so can we do 6 minus 8? Nope, so we got to go borrow over here, so there we go. Now we have 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. 4 minus 4 is 0, and 3 minus 3 is 3. Okay, is 8 less than 87? Yes, it is. So that means we're going to bring down that 7. All right, how many times can 87 go into 87? Yeah, 1 time, so it can go in 1 time. So 87 times 1 is 87. Subtract, and we're left with 0. So what's our answer here? Well, we can write it with just 1 0 up front if you want. But you have 41 thousandths. Okay, so big things to remember are those 2 things that we've already talked about. If a decimal is on the side, slide, slide. So remember, slide it as many times as you need to make it a whole number. Okay, and if it's the decimal still in the house, just raise it to the roof. Again, something we talked about. But always slide first because it's easy to divide whole numbers than it is to divide decimals. So slide, then raise it to the roof. All right, you guys are going to try a bunch of practice problems today. If you need some more help, let me know. I am here, but have some fun today.